I'm Dr. Kate Altizer, and I'm excited to introduce the pieces on the DuPage Symphony Orchestra's November concert, Magic of the Magyars. In this video, I'll be discussing the composer's relationships to Hungarian music, as well as some of what you might expect to hear. This program features classical compositions inspired by the music of Hungary, pictured on the map, which is a country in Central Europe that was settled in the late 9th century by the Magyar people. A relationship to Hungary unites the pieces on this program, but each composer's relationship to Hungarian music is quite different. Carl Maria von Weber engaged with exoticized Viennese interpretations of Hungarian music that were popular during his time, but he never heard Magyar folk musicians or Roma bands performing live music. Franz Liszt claimed Hungarian heritage, wrote books about Hungarian music, incorporated transcriptions of Roma bands into his own compositions, and was embraced by his Hungarian contemporaries, but was criticized by later Hungarian composers for what they saw as his simplified view of Hungarian music. Zoltán Kodály, though he was raised around international classical music, both at home and in his formal education, became fascinated by his national heritage and dedicated his life to studying Hungarian folk music. For much of the 19th century, Hungarian-inspired classical music, written by Germanic composers, was really imitating the music of Roma bands, which at the time were pejoratively called gypsies. Roma bands performed widely across Europe and inspired many musicians and laypersons alike with their unique performances. One very famous Roma band leader was János Bihari, pictured here, who performed widely across Europe with 4 violinists and a cimbalom player, an instrument we'll talk about in a second. Certain tropes consistently appeared in these performances and in the compositions inspired by them, and I'm going to walk you through a few of them, which you can hear on the November program. So what sounds are we talking about, and what might you expect to hear? The first general trend is that you might notice multiple pieces moving from a slow, stately tempo to a fast, whirling, excited one. This is an imitation of the Fehérpunkos, a style of dance and military recruitment that was designed to be exciting and invite participation. The dance began with slow, stately music for the commanding officer, then would get faster and wilder as officers of lower ranks joined. I'm going to play 2 excerpts from Liszt's Hungarian Rhapsody No. 1. Listen to the shift not only in tempo, but in character, from earlier in the movement until near the end of the movement. The imitation of the Fehérpunkos basically means something that begins slow and stately and becomes fast and exciting. Rhythmically, you'll hear a lot of exciting rhythms, including dotting, which will have kind of a jerky sound, as in the second half of the theme from the Weber Andante e Rango Hongroise. Harmonically, you'll hear some pieces engaging in mode mixture, which just means shifting from major to minor. This happens especially in a way that increases drama. Listen to this excerpt from the Weber Rondo. Notice how the harmonic shading shifts back and forth between tension and brightness. Finally, multiple pieces on the program incorporate or imitate the cimbalom, a type of hammer dulcimer common in Hungary. The instrument pictured here is a concert dulcimer developed in Budapest in the late 19th century for the purpose of concert imitations of the smaller dulcimers you'd hear in folk and Roma music. You'll hear the concert cimbalom multiple times in Kodály's Hari János, as in this excerpt from the Song movement. You'll also hear the harp imitate the cimbalom in Liszt's Hungarian Rhapsody No. 1. Thank you for tuning in to this overview video, and I hope you're excited to hear these wonderful sounds live at the concert.